Zambia, a land of vast potential, a land of mystic beauty and wild, untamed resources. Home to the world-famous Victoria Falls, as well as wild and roaming African game, Zambia has a thriving tourist industry. It is also one of the most peaceful of African countries, home to 72 distinct tribes and languages who have interbred to become a cohesive Zambian people. Amazingly, it is also the most English-speaking country in Africa. But Zambia is also a broken land, a land filled with broken government, broken systems, and most of all, broken people, who are desperate for the healing power of God. Poverty. Zambia stands third in the world's list of poorest countries, with 63% of its population living on less than $1 a day. People in Muke village, 20 miles from the tourist capital of Livingstone, were fortunate to live near a large tourist lodge and a white-owned farm, which employed many of their people. But they were paid only $1.50 per day, not enough to feed a family even if 2 or 3 from their household worked there. Disease. HIV has ravaged sub-Saharan Africa, leaving countries like Zambia crippled and broken. Zambia is 7th on the world's list of highest HIV prevalence, with 6 of the worst countries directly south of her. More than 1 in 5 adults have HIV, and most of them will die in the next 3 to 10 years. It's projected that fully half of Zambian adults will die of AIDS. It's no wonder that the life expectancy, which in recent past stood at 54 years, is now 37 years old and projected to dip to 30 years. This young 20-ish girl is in the advanced stage of AIDS and tells a common story. When her boyfriend found she had AIDS, he left her. Her parents allowed her to live with them, but they lock her out of the house during the day so she can't eat their food. But Jesus found her, and she's now finding her original Father in heaven has become her closest friend and more real than life itself. Orphans. Zambia has more orphans per capita than any country in the world, with nearly 2 million of the country's 10 million population being orphans. The social customs of the country call for relatives to take in their orphans and neighbors to take in foundlings. But this system has long since reached its capacity. Census data reveal that fully 7% of Zambian households have no adult in them, and more children are taking to the streets of urban centers. Lusaka has had the unenviable distinction of leading the world's cities, the most street kids per capita. These are grim statistics, but to the Church of the Living God they signal an opportunity that we cannot pass up. The continent is dying, a slow and miserable death, but the life of God is given to the Church for just such a day as this. Regina and I are 2 small lights in a vast darkness, but we're trusting in God to make a difference in this world. And we're gathering others who are feeling the same call, to join their combined lights into a wildfire. For several years, we've been taking mission teams into Africa in the name of Orphan Hope, later changed to Love's Door, the organization that we founded to help orphans. We have also sent support to other ministries which are helping orphans. Our teams have built orphan homes, funded schools, helped with orphan medical care, run orphan camps and feeding programs. Love's Door has helped a Baby Safe organization in South Africa, a home health care ministry in Mozambique, and a feeding program in Zambia. We have taken and sent short-term mission teams and some longer-term volunteers to various places, always where orphans are in need. We believe that God will raise up these children to be the leaders of tomorrow, truly bringing transformation to a continent. But we realize that lives will not be transformed, communities and nations will not be significantly changed by these tactics alone. It is required that there be a long-term and powerful presence of the life of Jesus to affect a region. This is what God is calling us to, establishing transformational communities in some of the world's darkest places, the Church of the Living God. It will be a community of people in love with Jesus and one another, both Western and Indigenous, young and old, planting small, reproducing, simple churches, caring for orphans, creating jobs, healing the sick, planting gardens. Holistic, Indigenous, community, equipping and sending. This is our vision. We have become a part of All Nations, a church planting training center in Cape Town, South Africa. They've equipped us and are now sending us into Zambia to be the hands and feet of Jesus to the poor and the lost. We're buying a piece of land on the untamed Zambezi River, where the hippo, elephant, and crocodile wander freely, just 30 miles upstream from Victoria Falls. We're making a home there, and a place from which will impact a wide circle of villages around us. We're gathering a team of committed partners with a common passion and call to serve the least and the lost. And we're inviting interns who would like to volunteer for a month to 6 months. Thirdly, we're inviting teams to come for 2 to 5 weeks and get their lives ruined for normal living. Could you dream about being involved in something like this? Could you build a bridge or a hydropower system? Are you a cob house builder with an exotic African flair? Or have you dreamed of caring for orphans, reaching unreached villages with the gospel, teaching in a village school, or developing gardens to misplace hunger? Maybe you're an excellent administrator or a prayer warrior. Maybe you're called to fund the water system or support one of the workers. Maybe you could come for a month or 3 years, or maybe you'll never come, but your life will be just as connected in prayer every day. We need to develop fences that will repel elephants from gardens, and another one to keep crocs away from our shore. We need power and sewer and water systems, and buildings and gardens and schools. We need finances for 4-wheel drive vehicles and orphan homes. It seems overwhelming, but then, isn't that just like our God? He calls us to do something so big that when it happens, no one can say it was a man that accomplished it. It had to be God. And isn't that a task just the right size for the body of Christ to tackle? I am inviting you to prayerfully get on board and find a way to get connected. As Mother Teresa said, do little things, love greatly. Our website is www.danandregina.org. Our email is lovesdoor@gmail.com.